the vast depths of space, where stars shimmered like distant diamonds, the galaxy's most powerful and advanced civilizations gathered in a grand assembly unlike any before. This colossal council was held on a massive station that floated silently at the edge of known space, a neutral ground for species that rarely met without suspicion or rivalry. The tension in the air was thick, as leaders from countless worlds debated the growing presence of one species that had only recently risen to prominence: humanity. The elders, ancient beings who had witnessed the rise and fall of countless empires, stood silently at the center, their faces marked with lines of wisdom and years that stretched beyond memory. Their warning was clear and urgent. Humanity was not like the others. They were unpredictable, fiercely resilient, and possessed a strange burning spirit that could not be easily broken or controlled. The elders spoke with gravity, insisting that provoking humans was a dangerous game, one that could spark a conflict engulfing the entire galaxy. Yet, many dismissed their caution as nothing more than old stories, believing humans were still primitive, unprepared for the vast cosmos. These leaders underestimated the fierce heart of a species shaped by hardship and boundless hope. Meanwhile, far away on a small blue planet called Earth, life moved on quietly. People went about their daily routines, unaware that their place in the universe was changing. Scientists observed the stars, governments debated space programs, and ordinary citizens dreamed of distant worlds, all while shadows of galactic politics grew heavier around them. No one on Earth knew that their very existence was about to face challenges that would test their strength and spirit like never before. As debates raged among alien leaders, hidden agendas and fears pulsed beneath the surface, making the gathering more than just a meeting. It was the calm before a storm. The elders, who had lived through ages of peace and war, watched humanity with cautious eyes, knowing well that history was about to be rewritten. The question was no longer whether humans would survive the cosmic stage, but what kind of force they would become once pushed to the edge. Would they crumble under pressure like many before them, or would they rise, blazing a trail no one could ignore? The room buzzed with whispers, and though many dismissed the elders' words, an uneasy feeling spread, a sense that the universe was shifting, and those who chose to ignore the warning might soon regret it. As the council closed, with no clear resolution in sight, the eyes of countless beings turned to the stars, waiting. And on Earth, beneath the endless sky, humanity continued unaware, carrying a spark that once ignited could change everything. Far from Earth, on a distant rocky planet known only as Nova Terra, a human colony thrived against all odds. It was a place of harsh winds and rough terrain, but the settlers had carved out a home with hard work and determination. News of this colony had traveled slowly through the galaxy, reaching ears that viewed humanity with a mixture of curiosity and doubt. Among these were a rogue faction of aliens, known for their aggressive tactics and hunger for power, who saw Nova Terra as an easy prize and opportunity to claim new resources and send a clear message to the humans. They were weak and vulnerable. Confident in their superior technology and battle experience, this faction launched a sudden attack on the colony, expecting little resistance beyond a quick surrender. What they did not expect was the human spirit that burned fiercely beneath the surface. Instead of fleeing or begging for mercy, the colonists united with a resolve that stunned even the most hardened soldiers. Ordinary men and women, farmers, engineers, teachers, and scientists, transformed their homes into fortresses, using every resource available to build defenses. They employed guerrilla tactics that baffled their enemies, setting traps in the rocky canyons, using the planet's unpredictable weather to their advantage, and striking quickly before vanishing into hidden caves and tunnels. Their leaders were not generals from grand armies, but people who understood the terrain and the value of persistence. The aliens found themselves in a slow, exhausting battle they could not easily win. Reports of the resistance spread like wildfire through the galactic networks, surprising many who had doubted humanity's strength. Other species began to take note, realizing that humans were not the simple, fragile beings they had assumed. Across star systems, discussions changed from mockery to cautious respect. and some powers started questioning whether their own strategies would work against this stubborn species. Meanwhile, the elders observed this unexpected defiance with a mixture of relief and concern. Their warnings about humanity's resilience, once ignored, now echoed loudly in the minds of those who had dismissed them. The council, once full of confident voices, grew quieter, replaced by whispers of, "Perhaps we were wrong." The rogue faction, humiliated but unwilling to admit defeat, prepared for a longer war, unaware that their actions had shifted the balance of power. On Nova Terra, the human colonists continued their fight, not just to survive, but to prove something far greater, that no matter how small or isolated they seemed, their determination could stand against the galaxy's mightiest forces. Each day brought new challenges, but also new hope. The battle was no longer just about territory, it was about respect, survival, and a message sent loud and clear across the stars. Humanity was not to be underestimated. As the conflict unfolded, alliances shifted, and distant observers wondered who would be next to learn the same lesson. The elders watched quietly, knowing this was only the beginning, and that the true test of humanity's spirit was yet to come. After their surprising victory on Nova Terra, humanity grew bolder and more confident, pushing beyond the boundaries of their small colonies. They reached out to other worlds, especially those smaller civilizations that lived under the heavy shadows of the galaxy's larger empires. These oppressed species, tired of control and exploitation, found hope in humanity's courage and determination. Slowly, alliances were formed not through force, but through shared dreams of freedom and respect. Humans brought new ideas and technology, but more importantly, a spirit of unity that inspired others to stand up for themselves. This sudden rise of a united front among humans and their new allies did not go unnoticed. The great powers of the galaxy, once indifferent or amused by humanity's attempts to expand, now saw them as a growing threat. Behind closed doors and in secret meetings, these empires began to plan ways to weaken human influence before it could grow too strong. Covert operations were launched. Spies infiltrated colonies, sabotage disrupted supply lines, and political manipulation sowed discord among human allies. Skirmishes broke out in border systems, often blamed on misunderstandings, but clearly part of a larger, deliberate effort to destabilize human-held space. The galaxy, once confident in its control, found itself caught in a web of intrigue and conflict. Throughout this chaos, the elders, the wise beings who had warned the galaxy about provoking humanity, worked tirelessly to bring peace. They called for calm and reason, urging leaders to remember the cost of war and the value of cooperation. But their voices were drowned out by growing fear and anger. Many leaders believed that if humanity was allowed to continue growing, they would upset the balance of power forever. The desire to crush humanity became a powerful motivation, overriding the elders' pleas for dialogue. The council meetings became battlegrounds of words, with some demanding immediate action to subdue the humans, while others hesitated, remembering the elders' warnings. Meanwhile, on the frontier worlds, humans prepared quietly but firmly for what seemed inevitable. Their alliances grew stronger, their defenses improved, and their resolve hardened. They knew they were no longer just surviving. They were challenging an entire galaxy to recognize their place. Every new skirmish, every political betrayal, only fueled their determination. Suspense built across star systems, as many wondered how far the great empires would go to stop humanity, and how far humanity was willing to push back. The galaxy held its breath, caught between the hope for peace and the shadow of war. With the elders watching closely, knowing that the next move could change everything. War exploded across the galaxy like a sudden storm, tearing through star systems that once seemed peaceful and safe. The grand fleets of powerful empires faced off against the human forces, which, though smaller and often with older technology, refused to back down. The humans surprised everyone. Their creativity became their greatest weapon. They did not rely only on large warships or advanced weapons. Instead, they used their ability to adapt quickly to every challenge. When facing a stronger enemy, Humans altered their tactics, turning weaknesses into advantages. They used the strange landscapes of new planets to their benefit, hiding in asteroid fields and launching swift, unexpected attacks that confused and frustrated their enemies. On battlefields, in space, and on ground, their teamwork and spirit became legendary. They fought not just for survival, but for a future where they could stand tall among the stars. The galaxy's great leaders watched in disbelief as humanity's culture of innovation, courage, and unity showed strength far beyond what anyone expected. The humans shared information openly with their allies, combining ideas and skills to create new technologies and strategies faster than the empires could respond. This revealed a surprising truth. Human strength did not come from superior machines alone, but from their determination and willpower to overcome any obstacle. As battles raged, old prejudices began to crumble. Many who had seen humans as weak now saw them as equals, or even a new kind of power in the galaxy. The elders, who had warned about the dangers of provoking humanity, saw their fears becoming real. The war was harsher and more unpredictable than anyone could have imagined, but so was the hope and legend of the humans who refused to be defeated. Their victories, small and large, inspired other civilizations to rethink their own place in the galaxy and what it meant to fight for freedom. Each battle became a story of bravery and cleverness, adding to the growing myth of humanity's rise. Yet the war was far from over. For every success, new challenges appeared, forcing humans to dig deeper into their strength and spirit. Galaxy, once confident and orderly, now faced a future shaped by the unstoppable force of a people who had been underestimated for too long. The elders watched silently, knowing that the legend of humanity was no longer just a warning. It was the story of a new chapter unfolding among the stars. After years of relentless conflict that had shaken entire star systems, a new calm slowly began to spread across the galaxy. The fierce battles that once seemed unstoppable were now memories that shaped the future. The dust of war settled, revealing a changed galaxy, one that could no longer ignore the truth about humanity. No longer seen as a mere threat to be crushed beneath the boots of powerful empires, humans had earned something far greater: respect. Their perseverance, unity, and courage had rewritten the rules of engagement, forcing every civilization to rethink old beliefs and fears. The elders, those ancient watchers who had once been dismissed as alarmists warning of humanity's unpredictable spirit, found their voices stronger than ever. With wisdom gained from long years of observing countless species rise and fall, they stepped forward as mediators and guides in this new era. Instead of ruling through fear or conquest, the galaxy began to reshape itself through dialogue and cooperation. These wise elders helped bridge the gaps between former enemies, encouraging peace talks and new alliances built on trust rather than suspicion. Humans, for their part, took on the challenge with open hearts and minds. They extended hands too. Those who had once been foes, showing that strength came not just from winning battles, but from building connections and sharing knowledge. Their culture, rich with hope and innovation, became a beacon for many worlds, seeking a fresh start after so much hardship. Balanced on the careful work of diplomacy and the ongoing desire for peace, but it was real and powerful. Humanity's journey from a small blue planet to a respected member of the cosmic community stood as a testament to what could be achieved when resilience met opportunity. The future promised new adventures, shared technology, joint exploration, missions and alliances that crossed species and star systems. The galaxy, once divided by fear and war, now looked toward the stars with a sense of hope and possibility. For the elders, this was not just a victory for humanity, but a new beginning. For all who called the stars home, they knew that challenges would still come, but with cooperation and understanding, the galaxy could face whatever the future held. And for humanity, this new chapter was only the start and open page, waiting for stories of courage, friendship, and discovery that would inspire generations yet to come. In this vast universe where once there was doubt and fear, now there was a shared dream of peace, proving that even in the darkest times, hope could light the way forward.